Guess who's back? It's the great Bob Ross. And after a many-month hiatus, in fact, 7 months really, pretty much since the end of May, I apologize. I just got out of the hang of things. Work consumed me over the summer, and then I had school start back. And now, finally, I've found the time to actually go ahead and start back doing reviews. I have a new digital voice recorder, one that hopefully is better than my last one. And I'm starting this out by doing the top 10 worst movies of 2009. And I hate to end the year with this, but you know what? I wanted to do this before I did my best of, just to get it out of the way. And I'm going to delete my October video about it because it's changed. And I'll probably add an addendum to this list and also the best of list whenever the Oscars are about to happen. I'll put up an Oscar special. But I got 10 minutes to go through the first half of the top 10 worst, so let's get through the list. Number 10 is Year One. This movie is directed by Harold Ramis. He's up there with Mel Brooks, with John Hughes, with John Landis, in terms of the comedic talents of the 80s. So I saw this, Jack Black, Michael Cera. I thought, this has to be at least decent, and it wasn't. In fact, it was really, really mind-bogglingly stupid. It jumps around from the Bible to the Babylonian times to random other parts of the Bible that chronologically don't make sense, and then they somehow end up in the Roman Empire, and, just overall, just nothing. I know it's supposed to be stupid, and I wouldn't care about all that stuff if it wasn't for the fact that the jokes are terrible and they really just rely on Jack Black and Michael Cera and their shticks, which are, at this point, when you don't give them a good script, they're terrible. And they can't carry a movie at all. So this movie really was just destined to fail, and it did fail in the box office. People just didn't go and see it. And there's no wonder it's a bad movie. Number 9. This is going to be my favorite part because this is where I get to act like a dick. Okay? Number 9 is Transformers 2: Revenge of Michael Bay's Ego. Yeah. Honestly, the studios just handed him money and said, make whatever the fuck you want. I know it's going to make $400 million. So we don't care what shit you put on screen. And this was probably their pitch meeting. Okay? And guess what? The studio probably wasn't even listening because this is, I guarantee you, this is what he said. We got lots of explosions over here, and Megan Fox is really hot, and she's running through the explosions, and then Shia LaBeouf's mom eats pot brownies. I love that part. And then the robots hump people, and they have visible testicles, and they go to Egypt and they climb the pyramids, and there's even more explosions, and then there's a Terminator 3 chick, and she turns into a robot and she tries to seduce Sam, and then, oh yeah, more explosions. For 3 fucking hours! Oh yeah, and not to mention Linkin Park uses their one song from the soundtrack and co-scores it into just about every single scene in the movie. So if you don't like the song New Divide, well fuck you, you get to hear it 13 times! And also, watching this movie action sequences was like looking through a kaleidoscope while being stuck in a clothes dryer on full spin. It's extremely difficult to tell what's going on. It has a terrible sense of humor. It's racist. It's just terrible. And honestly, if you went and saw us in theaters, you are what's wrong with the world. Fuck you. And I've just said to fuck myself because I obviously saw this in theaters and paid $10 for it. So I'm part of the problem too, and I full well know it, and I hate myself for it. Hopefully you hate yourself too. Number 8 is The Mutant Chronicles. So this movie was in limbo for a while. It ended up getting a Sci-Fi Channel release before it came out on DVD, and honestly, I'm a little upset about it because I was actually looking forward to it, and then I got this piece of shit, and I'm upset. It seems to be filtered through the Pathfinder lens. If you've seen Pathfinder, you know it's filtered through this hideous greenish gray pond scum color, and you get the same thing with Mutant Chronicles, only it's also darkened by about 0.3 too low. So you have to actually change the tint and the brightness on your TV screen to be able to see what's going on. And I'm not even going to go into the plot, because the plot's terrible. I mean, visually, this film is a complete disaster. So and the plot is inconsequential, even if you're going to rent it just for the action. And the action, you can't see it, so don't even bother with it. And I don't know, it's just massively, massively disappointing. I mean, I really like Thomas Jane, and I feel bad for him, because, I mean, Killshot kept getting lost in limbo that he didn't even know when it came out. And Dark Country, his directorial movie, was really subpar as well. And I'm like, you know what? Cut Thomas Jane a break. Okay, number 7 is The Informers. Not The Informant. That's a good movie. But The Informers. Pretty much The Informers is based off of a Bret Easton Ellis book, and if you've read his books or if you've seen American Psycho or Less Than Zero, he deals with yuppies in the 80s and doing lots of drugs and having lots of sex and having lots of money and being completely empty inside, which is fine and dandy. It's a little cliche, but this movie times the cliche times 10, and then is ballsy enough and frankly stupid enough to try to say something worthwhile in there and fall flat on their face. Not only is this movie depressingly boring and horribly acted, it actually tries to say something profound. Through all the cliche, through all the murky bullshit you have to wade through to try to find a meaning, in the end, they literally spell it out for you like a 4-year-old would. And not only is that maddening, the whole movie is maddening, and the only bright spot is Brad Renfro's last performance. He does a good job. But other than that, it's just ignore it. All right, 7 minutes in, so I got to hurry this up. Number 6 is Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li, one that I actually reviewed before I lost interest, I guess, in this channel. Street Fighter still, to this day, after going through all the movies, still has the worst performance of any actor in a movie, and that's Chris Klein as Charlie Nash. Honestly, I cannot begin to say how horrible I think he is in the movie. He is terrible. Now, the rest of the movie, honestly, it's just a really cliche-ridden, sort of boring action movie. But then, in the end, it tries to get serious. And honestly, when movies like this try to get serious, they are just horrible. I don't even want to spend much time on this, because I already have a review of it up. Go watch that review, pretty much. That is my summation of it. So, pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and put Part 2 up together with this one, because this is just Part 1. And the best ofs are going to be tomorrow. This year seemed to have been the year of the good but not great movies, but I think I have a pretty solid top 10 best. But gotta wait, because you only get to see my 5 worst, and man, the next one's really, really terrible. Alright, peace out. Watch the next video.